Hey everyone, it's Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Booker Longlist review for you, and that is Trust by Hernan Diaz. This is my first book by this author. I absolutely love the cover. So this book is about money and Wall Street, and it's set in mainly New York in the 1920s. We do go other places, but in that time period where we see these Wall Street tycoons rise up and build their wealth, and then there's the crash of 29, and who profited from that, who did not profit from that, and everything that just goes along with that world and that mindset. At the center of the novel, there is a bit of a mystery. There's a 1938 novel titled Bonds. All of New York seems to have read it, but not everything in the book may be true. So we also kind of explore that and how it relates to our characters and what's true and not true. I found the writing, at times it was engaging, but at times it wasn't. And I'm not saying it was bad writing, because it wasn't. I think just this particular style combined with the subject matter, which frankly didn't interest me as much, kind of worked against me in that way. If you can create characters that I really care about, even if you're talking about a subject that doesn't really interest me, if I'm invested in those characters, I'm there for the plot, even if it's something that I initially didn't care about. But I feel like a lot of these characters fell a little flat. They weren't quite as fleshed out as I would have liked. Good boy! Butch brought his elk antler to work. The main characters that I really cared about were the women and their lives amongst the men in their lives getting all this money or losing all this money or what have you. So I get what he was trying to do by using this technique to mirror how women were treated at the time. You know, the women in this book don't really get that much time. They're really overshadowed by the men in their life, and I totally get what he was trying to do, but I think it wouldn't have bothered me had those sections been shorter, and I know people disagree on that, and that's fine. That's just my personal taste. I just wasn't interested enough, and this book it wasn't long, but it was 350-ish pages, I think, maybe a little more than that. And if I'm gonna read that much of a book, I want to be invested in the characters. I know also that, you know, biographies on historical figures aren't usually short, but I wasn't approaching this as a biography. I was approaching it as a work of fiction, which it is. So I get what he was trying to do, but the execution just didn't really work for me, even though I think it will really work for other people. I did find the women absolutely fascinating in this book, and we do tackle topics of mental health, and I think those were the most fascinating parts for me, and just getting to know the women in this book. And then we move on. There is a twist in the third part of the book that I did enjoy, and I won't spoil anything, but I did enjoy that perspective in that section of the book. I did kind of predict what the end was going to be, or the end twist was going to be. But at that point, I really didn't care as much, so it wasn't that shocking. I don't think this is a bad book by any means. It just wasn't really my cup of tea. I had a good time reading some parts, other parts I was bored. I just wish I had a little bit more character development and a little bit more time with the characters that interested me. But again, I know that wasn't the point. But interesting fact about Hernan Diaz. I will link the interview down below. He was on Late Night with Seth Meyers, and he was talking about writing this book, and apparently he hand wrote this with a fountain pen, and that's like his favorite pen. And I thought that was the most interesting thing about this entire book and the stuff surrounding it. I just think that is so impressive when people hand write their books, especially when they're a bit on the chunkier side. Like, super impressive. So yeah, I get why the book had the structure it did, and I get why he did some things execution-wise in this book. It just wasn't it for me. It was not a bad book by any means. It's just one that was just okay to me, and I probably won't reread it. I would definitely check out more of his work in the future because I did enjoy his writing style for the most part. So that's that's my review on Trust. Have you read this? If so, please let me know. I will also link more positive reviews down below because I feel like people either think this book was just kind of okay, or they think it's like the best book on the long list so far. So please go check out those reviews because they were really interesting to watch and see a different perspective than I had. I think they're all spoiler free, so I'll make sure to link those as well as the interview with Seth Meyers. And if you'd like to leave an emoji, leave a skyscraper emoji down below. As always, if you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button if you'd like. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.